AskReddit by bottle insurgency. What country seems dangerous but really isn't? Zambia and Botswana. White guy gets lost following his satanic damn Google Maps and winds up in a Zambian shanty town. Got out to ask directions. Everyone speaks near fluent English and are super helpful providing directions. Have to be comfortable with the occasional emperor scorpion migration though. You can't just drop lines like occasional emperor scorpion migration and just leave it at that like it's a normal thing. Vietnam. For a lot of older Americans, its symbolism outweighs the changes it's gone through over the past 50 years. A few years ago my cousin was traveling through Southeast Asia and had to reroute her trip due to some instability in another country, and her uncle and I had a good laugh about how she was like, just to be on the safe side, let's go to Hanoi instead. My brother was wounded in Nam. He was showboating on the beach and fell, breaking his arm. Geographically, Jordan appears to be in the midst of a danger zone. But it was safe enough to be visited by the amazing race less than 2 years ago. Jordan felt like Middle Eastern California, in a good way, and I loved it. Jordan. Surrounded by danger, at least. Incredible country, with kind people. I would love to go back. Seconding this. Visited Oman in 2022, drove to Petra, absolutely fantastic trip, wonderful people, perfectly safe. Serbia, Bosnia, Albania and the rest of the Balkans. It isn't civil war in the 90s anymore. Just don't go hiking off the beaten path in Bosnia, there are still active minefields. https://en.m.wiki.org/land_mines_line_and_Herzegovina . Kazakhstan. Traveled for 3 weeks last year. Canadian woman. Never felt unsafe. People are so friendly and helpful. Had an amazing time. Did you verify how much potassium they have? Rwanda is extremely safe. It has a stable government and a low crime rate. That is nuts to me. I'm old enough that a friend of mine in grade school fled the genocide there. I never even thought to look if it's a visitable place these days. It seemed like such a scary place at that time to a small kid that I just never imagined people vacation there. Good reminder to me to check back on my biases every 20 years or so. Haiti. No, just kidding. Stay the fuck out of Haiti. Haiti is pretty rough. Australia. Everyone complains about the wildlife killing you, but as long as you're in more urban areas, there's not much to worry about. I rarely see big bugs either. We can go camping without any issues. The United States has fucking bears. The Philippines, especially our big cities. The most crime you'll likely encounter here as a tourist is divided between being scammed by a hooker and being scammed by police. I got pulled over for running a stop sign. The cop said he was giving me a warning and that it's usually 1,000 peso. I said, wow, thanks for that, and then we just stared at each other. Then he said it again, that's usually 1,000 pesos. And I was just like, great, thanks for saving me 1,000 pesos, and we stared at each other for a little while again. We did this for like 10 minutes and finally he was just like, just go. The next morning I was explaining this weird interaction to someone and they said that he was asking for a bribe, but since I was a white foreigner, and so confidently refusing to pay him off, he gave up just in case I could get him in trouble. That never crossed my mind. I would never even think to pay off an American cop, lol. Australia. The creepy crawlers here aren't that bad as everyone makes them seem. Sounds like something a giant sentient spider would say. Rwanda. After the genocide in 1994, Rwanda was often associated with violence and instability. today. However, it's known for its clean streets, low crime rates, and the government's efforts in ensuring safety and security. Sula, is that you? Transylvania. Anytime I go there I never get attacked by vampires. But the nurses at the hospitals are really aggressive with getting blood samples. Like, why did you need your mouth for that? I visit Transylvania every summer, and I haven't seen one single vampire in 194 years. Nothing but a myth. So basically most of the whole world is actually pretty safe, even though the news says otherwise. It's almost as if media outlets focus on generating fear and anger since they are proven to be the most engaging emotions. Vatican City in 1998 it had the highest murder rate in the world, but it has gotten a lot better since then. What? El Salvador, apparently. I came to say this, as I just visited this past year and had the best time. I have family there and they took me out even at night. Did not see one gang member. Everything was clean and food was amazing. Albania. Wonderfully beautiful country with an extremely friendly populace. Pretty much every country has dangerous parts and safe parts, so it's kind of hard to answer this question. My thoughts too. I live in a Canadian suburb and there are places here I wouldn't go alone at night. The USA. Most of it, anyway. There are dangerous parts of specific cities, but it's not the bullet-riddled, cracked-out wasteland media outlets make it out to be. If you're not in a gang or doing drugs, you're pretty safe. People even a town or two outside of Chicago can't believe I live here. They think I'm going to be mugged or murdered every time I leave the house. My neighborhood is safe as fuck lol. South Korea. It's a very safe place, but to my friends and family, aren't you scared about North Korea? Nothing is going to happen. You know you're probably pretty safe if the worst thing about the country you're visiting is an entirely different country, lol. Northern Ireland. The troubles have long since faded, and it has a vibrant city center. I went a few years ago and it was interesting that people older than me asked if it was safe while people my age didn't know why it wouldn't be. Not much education on the troubles in the US. Deleted. Saudi Arabia seems very dangerous but it's not at all. Philippines. Lived there for a little and never once felt unsafe. People are super friendly. There certainly are spots and you need to have street smarts, but it is safe and peaceful in general. I don't feel like it's unsafe, but it can definitely be uncomfortable. Especially for tourists in Mindanao. The US. Most of the country has extremely low crime rates, they are just offset by a number of areas that are really fucking bad. And even in those areas that are really bad, it's mostly drug gang violence. Random violent crime is statistically very rare.